My God, why do I keep putting myself up with this shit? Why do I watch these games? Well, why do I go to these games still? My God. That was just so bad to watch. It was so brutal. And every single game is so brutal watching this team. Yeah, they'll eventually get the wins here and there, but majority of the time it is so brutal, and this was definitely one of those. Getting shut out by Edmonton, getting shut out by one of the worst goaltenders in the National Hockey League, Mikko Koskinen. And a lot of people said that, hey, since Koskinen's probably in the net, the Flyers could actually score. They were wrong there. They were completely wrong. Oh boy. That was a jinx waiting to happen. And this game was just so brutal to watch. Flyers shanking on every opportunity that they got, turning over pucks in the neutral zone and their own zone, leaving hard out to dry. It's the same shit that you say every goddamn recap, every just goddamn game in general. And it's hard not to repeat yourself. I'll try not to repeat myself, but hey, this game was just bad. Like every other single Flyers game this season. But before we get into all of that, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to TTP Sports. If you are new to the channel, the most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate that. So if you are looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on the outcome. And if you are a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you're looking for any tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So you can use that discount code to get tickets to a Flyers game if you want to experience that for some reason. You can go to a Sixers game, see James Harden and Joel Embiid. You can go baseball, whenever the hell that decides to come back. There's a lot of crap going on with that. And football when that season comes back. So yeah, $20 in your pocket there. You can use that for soda. You can use that for food. Free $20. You can't pass that up. So use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase today. At SeatGeek, the Flyers get shut out 3-0 to the Edmonton Oilers as we get into the business tonight. Oh boy, like I said, this game was just so brutal. Insanely brutal. And a matter of fact, the Flyers just taking so many just lazy penalties. The tripping, every penalty the Flyers took tonight was tripping. They took 4, and all 4 of those were tripping. That is the laziest penalty you can possibly take. Come on, you got to be better there. Keep your stick off the ice. Keep your stick out of their feet. It looks like you're just reaching out there, reaching to try to poke the puck. You take that lazy penalty in the beginning of the game. Thank God they don't score on that in the first period. You get a 5-on-3 for Christ's sakes. And yes, you pump some chances. But once again, it's the Flyers on a 5-on-3, which they have not scored once at all this year. That's a fact you probably never heard of. This power play we all know is goddamn atrocious. But Jesus, not being able to score on a 5-on-3 all season. And it continues tonight. My God. And then once those power plays expire, you take another penalty, tripping on Oscar Lindblom. And then Edmonton takes not that long whatsoever. It's Leon Draisaitl from the point, from his office, making it 1-0 Edmonton. A couple of screens in front of Carter Hart. It also could have got deflected by a Flyer as well. Becomes 1-0 Edmonton. And you continue to get your various chances throughout the game. You keep shanking on all your shots, all these odd man rushes where maybe you should have shot instead of pass it. That's what the Flyers were doing today. They were very pass happy in this game. And like I said, they shanked a lot of Travis Sanheim was probably the most unluckiest person in the world. He had so many chances to maybe bury a puck, just get a shot on net, and he completely whiffed or shanked or just every single possible thing in the world that he could have done or could have not have done to miss. I felt bad for him. I felt very bad for him out there. He just kept, I don't know if it was just unluckiness. It just kept happening every single night where the guy just could not catch one single break. The line of Konechny, Lindblom, that line was absolute garbage tonight. JVR was absolute garbage tonight. There were so many plays during this game, especially I think it was one during the third period. JVR was trying to center a puck or send it to the point, and there was no one there. Either that person was going off for a change, but JVR just probably was not paying attention that entire time to where the guy was on the point, and he passed it into nothing, and boom, that takes away an offensive chance right there. And then the Flyers get a 3-on-2 rush at one point with JVR there, and he stops at the blue line and literally destroys that 3-on-2 rush. There are so many things in this game to where You really just stubbed yourself in the foot many single times. It's getting ridiculous. But that's basically been the entire season. It really has. It really, really has. A couple of 2-on-1 chances. Claude Giroux can't find a way to beat Koskinen. Just odd man. Basically, the Flyers, they did get a lot of rushes in this game, but they just weren't able to generate anything at all, especially like zone possession. That second period was goddamn atrocious. Edmonton basically controlled the puck in the Flyers zone the entire time. I have no idea. The Flyers somehow outshot Edmonton in this game. I have no idea why. I have no idea how they outshot Edmonton in this game. I thought Edmonton was a completely better team. They definitely were. And then they get a lot of zone possession at the end of the second period, and then you get Carter Hart having to scramble to make so many saves in the world. You get Ristolainen right there, standing there like a little pylon, not clearing the crease whatsoever, and somehow Yamamoto is able to find the loose puck there in the crease and put it by Hart. Hart had no chance of it. He's literally scrambling to make the save on the other side of the ice from Draisaitl. So what's going on there? I just don't understand there, Risto. Like, you're supposed to clear the crease. Why aren't you clearing Yamamoto out of the crease? I know in the replay it kind of looked like he kicked the puck in, but then there was like a couple of angles where one side it looked like he kicked it in, and then in the other angle it looked like one of the sticks got in there. So I have really no idea what happened in that situation, but the Flyers did not challenge it, which I wasn't expecting them to, just because it wasn't conclusive at all. So it becomes a 2-0 Edmonton lead to go into the third period. And basically nothing happens there. The Flyers try to mount their comeback. Edmonton gets their chances. Edmonton was controlling pace for, I would say, half of the third period. And the Flyers try to push their way down the ice. They once again get a couple of odd man rushes. They can't find a way to bury it. Sanheim gets unlucky. And they just can't find a way to beat Koskinen. Ivan Provorov, I have no idea what the fuck happened to him. He just makes the simplest mistakes. He makes the simplest plays look difficult. I have no idea what the fuck happened to Provorov. I just don't. I really don't. Because earlier on this season, when he was paired with Ryan Ellis, he looked completely fine. That pairing looked good. And then Ryan Ellis goes down the chute. Provorov, Braun, they were a fine pair for a little bit. Then just as the season progressed and as the team continued to get worse, Provorov followed suit. My goodness, he looks terrible. Not to say the rest of the team doesn't look terrible, but Provorov is like something that's a little eye-popping as well for how bad he is right now. It's just, I don't understand how bad he is right now. I just don't get it. How he went from, a couple of years ago with Matt Niskanen to being one of the better pairs, or probably the best pairing, one of the better pairings in the National Hockey League, to just where they're at right now, to where he can't find a consistent defensive partner, and I don't know how that hinders his game. Honestly, I hate the hate on Provorov at this point, but I feel like at this point in his career, I understand he hasn't had a consistent defensive partner in his life. Majority of the partners he has had has been Andrew McDonald, Shane Gostisbehere, Matt Niskanen for one season. Last year, who was it? Justin Braun, Travis Sanheim mixing in with Phil Myers. He had so many defensive partners last year. And then this year, it was supposed to be Ryan Ellis. That was supposed to be the top pairing. Then he gets injured. He doesn't play basically for 5 games this entire season. And then you're basically splitting time with Justin Braun majority of the time being that first pairing defenseman. And then you get maybe Ristolainen up there sometimes, Sanheim there sometimes, Yandel was there at some points. It was just bad. I understand, like I said, I understand he hasn't had a consistent D partner, but I think for as long as Provorov has been in the NHL, for how long he has been in this league, he should be able to be better. He should be able to carry a defensive pairing. That's just my honest opinion there. But he just looks bad. I think that's the summary of the entire situation. Provorov just looks bad. So, Flyers pull the goaltender at the end of the game. They try their usual shtick and comeback with 2-0 down, and they turn the puck over, i.e., it'll be Draisaitl becomes a 3-on-1 with the empty net, hands it off to McDavid, puts it in the empty net, makes it a 3-0 lead, and that's how the game ends. 3 stars of the game. Leon Draisaitl, first star. Mikko Koskinen, second star. You got shut up by Mikko Koskinen. That's a joke in itself. And then Kailer Yamamoto as the third star for the Edmonton Oilers. Statistics in this game. Still don't understand how the Flyers outshot this team. They outshot them 39-32. Flyers won in faceoff percentage, 52.5%. The Flyers go over 2 on the power play, i.e. they went over 2 during that 5-on-3. So you knew what was happening there. Edmonton goes 1 for 5 on the power play, and they score on one of those. A majority of those power plays were tripping penalties against the Flyers. Very, very lazy penalties. There was one on Travis Konechny where he was forechecking in the offensive zone, and he trips Darnell Nurse as he's poking into his skates. Very, very lazy, and you saw it on TK's face. He's like, what the fuck am I doing? So, physical game. Well, on the Flyers standpoint, 27 hits to 19 in favor of the Flyers. Both teams blocked their favorable amount of shots, 15 to 14 in favor of Edmonton. Shots on goal per period, it was a very, shot-heavy game. First period, 13 to 10 in favor of Flyers. Second period, 12 to 11 in favor of the Flyers. And the third period, 14 to 11 in favor of the Flyers. So, I would say Edmonton, I don't buy into Edmonton whatsoever. If I look at Edmonton's record, because I am very curious right now. I know they've been a little bit of a hot streak ever since they got the interim coach hired. Yeah, they're in third place in the Pacific Division. They got 63 points so far to 30, 21, and 3. I just don't buy into Edmonton. I really just don't. They don't have the depth. I know this is a Flyers channel, but there's just some things about Edmonton I just don't like, really. Besides, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, those guys are a joy to watch every single night. But their team in general, they lack so much depth. They lack defensive depth. Their goaltending sucks. Mike Smith, 39 to 40 years old, and then you got Mikko Koskinen. I know I'm harping right here as they shut the Flyers out, but I've just never bought into Edmonton. I really don't. This is a first-round exit team at best, second-round exit. I really don't see them, with the way they built their team, Ken Holland and all that crap. I just don't see them going far, and I feel bad for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. But away from that, more to complaining about the Philadelphia Flyers. So after this loss in regulation tonight, the Flyers are now officially in last place in the Metropolitan Division at 16, 27, and 10 with 42 points on the season. The New Jersey Devils, they are 19, 30, and 5 with 43 points. They are currently in 7th place in the Metropolitan Division. So the Flyers, leapfrog down into the last spot in the Metro Division. And now the Flyers are the 5th worst team in the National Hockey League. 42 points. Below them is Buffalo with 40, Seattle with 37, Montreal with 33, and Arizona with 32. Weird. Montreal leapfrog Arizona. That's strange. That is very strange. Oh, Montreal's on a 5-game winning streak looking at it right here. So I guess the coaching change is kind of helping them right now. And I don't know what to say about that there, but Arizona, we all know, is a dumpster fire in itself. Montreal, I know everything that implicated going into this year, but they're still a very bad team, so I think the gas will run out eventually. But the Flyers, they're still in the bottom part of the league, and they're getting lower and lower and lower. I feel like the Devils, even though they have one more game played than the Flyers, I feel like they'll, end up in a better spot than the Flyers are. I think the Flyers are going to remain in this bottom 5 to 7 spot within the most part of the season, especially after the trade deadline, when hopefully they trade away a lot of their pieces. Claude Giroux, hopefully they trade away Rasmus Ristolainen because, oh my God, the rumors of the contract that he wants and the contract that he turned down. Oh my God, I am not paying this guy plus $6 million a year. It's nothing against Ristolainen. I just don't see him like that. I don't see him as a $6 million a year defenseman. I just don't, for a second pairing defenseman. I just don't see that. And for the money that he wants, I think the rumor is he turned down $6.3 million for 5 years or something like that, but the Flyers offered him. So yeah, trade him. Please trade him at the deadline. I don't care the stuff you gave up for him last season. Try to get something back for him. A team that is desperate enough will give you a first-round pick. Toronto. They just lost Jake Muzzin. They're going to be desperate enough. Look at Toronto. And maybe you retain some salary, and maybe you can get more in return. But hey, that's just a pipe dream in my honest opinion. So, looking at the schedule before we end off this video. Upcoming schedule, the last 3 home games of this 8-game homestand. Minnesota on Thursday. The Flyers are most likely going to get spanked by them. Chicago on Saturday. You would think that would be a better competition matchup for the Flyers, but they also have Marc-Andre Fleury in nets, and you never know what's going to happen with Marc-Andre Fleury. Vegas next Tuesday, they're probably going to get spanked. Florida, Carolina on the road, Montreal at home, Nashville at home, which that Nashville game should be Claude Giroux's offensive career game in the National Hockey League. Ottawa the very next day. Islanders on the 20th on a Sunday. That's the day before the trade deadline. Then your trade deadline is on March 21st. And then you go on a 5-game road trip for the end of March with Detroit, St. Louis, Colorado, Nashville, and Minnesota. The Philadelphia Flyers. They are an enigma. I cannot just read them at all. As a Flyers fan, I cannot. I simply cannot. So, what are your thoughts on this game, everyone? What are your thoughts on the upcoming stretch for the Flyers, just getting into the trade deadline? Is that basically all you're hoping for at this point? And your thoughts on the Ristolainen situation. Do you think the Flyers should re-sign him? Do you want them to re-sign him, or do you want him to get traded to just try to get some assets in return? All those thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I would love to hear them as always. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.